Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing absolutely amazing and are happy in whatever thing you are doing in life. So we are back with another video. So this video will basically cover the RTP question case study number 1 of May 2014. So while interacting with most of you, I will find that you are facing the major problem that which material to refer, which books to refer, how to approach the case study. Our group 1 is clear. Well, I will be able to solve this case study exam. My group 1 is clear, or some other way I have some exemption in the other subject. So how will I will be able to approach this exam? And in the new course there is no law or SCMP, whether I will be able to tackle it. So all these permutation combination will be addressed in this. So let me give you a disclaimer. You have to just carry two things: all the institute's material, and second is Saransh, ICA Saransh. So what is ICA Saransh? ICA Saransh is basically the summarized material issued by the ICAI, and it has been there in the Telegram channel, in my Telegram channel or ICA website. You can download it from the BOS portal. It contains summary. It is a around in 32 pages. They have almost covered the entire essay in chart form. It is a black and white form, or you can take a color printout of that. So by using this, you will be by using these two material and without having any prior knowledge, you will be able to solve the case study. Believe me, because we will be doing this in this case study. We will be testing this case study as if we all are sitting in an exam hall. We don't know anything. We just have two things: the ICA Saransh material and the ICA books. What to do? We don't have any prior knowledge. We have forgotten everything which we have studied past back. So what we will do is, we have only 1 hour. Remember, time is a limiting factor here. So those people will be able to utilize the time in a better way, will be able to fetch more marks. I remember when I have given my risk management paper, and when I moved to the fourth case study, I don't have 1 hour. I was only left with 30 minutes. So in that 30 minutes, I have to read the case study, I have to find the answer, I have to solve the case study. So I was under immense time pressure. Believe me, one case study consists of 25 marks. So 25 portion of your exam is at risk. So what to do? How to approach the case study? So I will tell you some tricks, some tips which I myself have used, so that you will be able to solve it without even reading the case study. But without even reading the case study, are you saying it right? Yes, I'm saying it right. But without not entirely reading it the case study, but reading it only the relevant part. So enough of the enough of the talking going on. Let's move on to the case study, and let me tell you how we'll be able to approach it. So if you go to the case study, you will find that the case study number 1 consists of 10 pages, 10 long pages. And if you are a slow reader, or I would say a reader who takes every word slow by slow, so that it goes directly into the mind, so believe me, this subject is not for you. You have to read it smart. Smart in the sense, I will tell you. So you see case study number 1. In this, about the case study will not be given in the exam hall. This is only given for a reference. I assume in the RTP, the industry have been covered, it airline subject have been covered, all except the FM and the DD. 8 subject books you have to carry, remember. So make index of whatever you are carrying. Either carry your teacher's material which you have taken classes from. Make that subject index also. Whatever book you are carrying, don't carry it without an index. Topics, most major topics are covered are Index 115, GST on airport levies, risk in a statutory audit, Canos model, Porter 5 forces, and all of that. So majority of the case study we find, or in some case study we find, ICAI itself have divided it into paras. So ICAI asked that question from this para, this question has been asked, from this para this question has been asked, but there the para is not there. So you yourself have to divide it into a para. So first is an introductory para. Second is telling about the background, how this company was started, the airlines business was started. Third one was the selection of the business model. Fourth one was operational challenges. So I believe that the ICA might have asked in this question, because ICA have highlighted it. Let's see. Some operational highlights have been given. Some costing question could have been asked from here. Okay. Then the sixth one is the fare structure, how we are calculating the fare from the passengers. So this might have been tested. Strategy, how we will be able to overcome the competitors, how we'll be able to satisfy means we will be able to operate in a single type of aircraft to reduce maintenance. So this is the strategy part. And the 8th part is the performance measurement system. 9th, we have given the lecture of board of directors. I will give you a tip here. Leave entire law, but don't leave directors chapter. Read that chapter, at least read that chapter. Go to a summary video of any teacher, find it. In 3 hours you will be able to cover directors chapter. So don't leave directors chapter if you are giving paper 6 IBS. And lecture 10 is from extracts of management responsibilities. So we will be able to solve all XBQs without even reading the case study. Yeah, I will tell you how, and without even having no prior knowledge, because we have already forgot. I have already forgot. So, but I am having two things: Saransh and institute's material. Let's get started. Airport operated by KG Airlines, whether owned or leased, required periodic maintenance. These are high value costs. As of the operating date, provisions need to be made for these expenses based on number of variable factors and assumptions: likely utilization of the aircraft, expected cost of this high value maintenance on a future date, conditions of the aircraft engines, etc. Due to the complexities and subjectivities of these conditions, auditor rely on management judgment in order to quantify the amount of provisions to be made. This was an example of which type of risk. So I know contract risk is not a type of risk. Detection risk means auditor has to be involved. So these two have been eliminated. But I have some knowledge that it has to be in SA number 200. Overall objective of an independent auditor and the conduct of audit according to standard of auditing. I picked up Saraj's book. I quickly glanced through it. I don't find the type of risk topic. I don't know the difference between inherent risk and control risk. I'm getting confused in the exam hall. So what to do? Second is pick up your study material. This is your audit pronouncement for essay number 200. Quickly move on to the definition part. These definitions are given in alphabetical order. So R, risk of material misstatement, inherent risk. I will tell you short. Inherent risk means there is no internal control, and control risk means some controls are there, but they are able to prevent, detect, and correct the misstatement on a timely basis. So here the nothing has been talked about the controls part. So the answer will be an inherent risk. Let's move on to the second MCQ. The cashier committed fraud and absconded for the proceeds. The chief accountant was unaware of when the fraud occurred. During the audit, the auditor failed to discover the fraud. Fraud. I understand that I have read in some essay. So I quickly move on from essay number 210, 220, 230, 240. I quickly move on to essay number 240. This is the Saransh. The auditor's responsibility relating to fraud in an audit of financial statement. By this, I am able to understand that some part have been there in some part of essay 240 have been breached. So let's quickly move on to that. So the auditor exhibited due diligence and careful conduct. What? No, the auditor has breached clause 7 of part 1 of the second schedule to Chartered Accountants Act. So I have some knowledge of the professional ethics, but I don't know what exactly this concept says that. But I know this has been covered in the ICAI study mat. So I quickly move on to the ICAI study mat. If you see drill down to the last part, you will find the summary of all the clauses here. Here I quickly move on to the clause 7 of part 1 of the second schedule. Does not exercise due diligence or is grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. Yes, the auditor was grossly negligent. Yes. So these two are correct. Let's understand the third point also, because if you see drill down and you will find that two options are given. So the auditor failed to plan and perform the audit with an audit of professional skepticism. I forgot what professional skepticism, but I know it has been covered in the essay 200. So quickly move on to the audit pronouncement part. Professional skepticism means an attitude that involves a questioning mind, being alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatement due to fraud or error, and a critical examination of the audit evidence. Yes, auditor fails to have a questioning mind. He doesn't ask question from the management, doesn't question from the TCWG. He didn't ask. If he have asked, he will able to identify the fraud. So the answer will be second and third C part. Let's move on to case study number. Let's move on to MCQ number 3. KG Airlines had decided to remove a expiration date on the frequent flyer miles. Flyer miles is type of H points or reward points which you get when you frequently fly. So airlines, what they have done, they have this usually have an expiration date. Means you buy a credit card, you see that you get some points After some utilization, you will spend 1,000 points. You will get 2 to 5% of the points in your bank, in your credit card, which you can utilize till 31st March. So after some point, these points get expired, as you already know. But in this case, what is happening is that KG Airlines had decided to remove the expiration clause. Customer was not expecting this thing, but this was as a given as a surplus, so customer is more satisfied. It has done to thus to improve the customer satisfaction of his plan. Using the Kano model, which of the following attributes of the Kano model does is pertain to? Kano model, if you are an old student or you have given the exam in old course, you will understand that this Kano model was not covered in SCMP. So I got a slight lead that it might be there in SCMP. But how to analyze that which chapter has been tested? So quickly move on to each chapter. Some homework or some, you say, work has been done by ICAI for you. Meaning by, you will find that in each chapter you will find that introduction column. So in the introduction column you will be able to drill down and you will be able to see strategic revenue management chapter number 6, Kano's performance attributes. Quickly move on to this page number 65. You have made the index, you know where to go. So let's quickly read down what part satisfies the case study requirement. Chapter मिल गया, subject मिल गया, chapter मिल गया, topic मिल गया, subject we have able to got it, topic we have got it. Now we have to read this topic. Threshold attributes. When these characteristics are met, they are taken for granted. We don't have taken for granted. We are happy. In fact, these are the features that as a business and invest in them result in a proportionate increase in the customer satisfaction. Yes, these also include customers who know what they want and consider carefully. No, 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 no. Means battery life of a smartphone. No, no, no. Delight attributes. These characteristics provide satisfaction when they are met but do not cause dissatisfaction. They are not usually expected. Yes, yes. So delight attribute is the right answer here. You don't have to read the entire case study. You don't have to read the entire para. Your time is the most limiting factor here. You have to do all this in 1 hour. Why am I emphasizing this again and again? Because you will do it like an exercise. Do it. Take a case study, take all your books and solve it in that time pressure. You will always find short of time. Always remember that. Unless and until you don't know the answer beforehand of each and every case study being asked. But if you are like me who don't know anything, who have to again and again go back to area where this has been tested, so then your time will be short in that case. So let's move on to the MCQ number 4. KG Airlines aim to fill up the casual vacancy caused by the resignation of Mr. KB Chakrabarty by nominating Mr. Stephen as an independent director. Quickly move on to the annexure A. Who was KB Chakrabarty? KB Chakrabarty was an independent director. Asterisk mark. Was appointed as a casual vacancy director. Is appointed, was approved, was successful, noise. Okay. So KB Chakrabarty was a casual vacancy director by nominating Mr. Stephen as an independent director. So in this, we are appointing Mr. Stephen as an independent director in place of Mr. Chakrabarty. Remember this, who was also an independent director. However, Mr. Ravi Kishan, a board of director objective will come. He says stop. What? He cannot be appointed. Kyun? Contended that Mr. Stephen lacks eligibility for the board position due to already occupants of a position of an independent director in 3 listed company. He is already director in 3 listed companies. So what? He's saying, so what? I am director in 3 listed companies. Is there any restriction which tells me that I cannot be appointed? Evaluate Mr. Ravi's claim regarding Mr. Stephen's suitability for the position of the independent director on the board. So must be referring 149 subsection 4. No. In this case, you have to go to the civil LODR regulation number 17. So quickly move on to regulation number 17. We have identified the chapter. This is the study mat part. The director of the listed company shall comply with the following condition with respect to the maximum number of directorship, including any alternate director. A person shall not be a director in more than 7 listed entities, provided that the person shall not serve an independent director in more than 7 listed entities. 7. So only in D part, maximum 7 listed entities are there. Lest all the parts, no 7 listed entities have been even mentioned. So quickly go down to D and take a tick mark and secure your 2 marks. No need to read that entirely. Let's move on. Given are few parameters that needed to be considered while using Porter 5 forces. Porter 5 forces Like the trick I told you, you have your SCMP study mat, go to the introduction part. In introduction part, you will see in chapter number 1, you will see, oh, quarter 5 forces are there. And you quickly move to your index, you will be able to find that on which page number it has been given. It has been given under page 45. You quickly move on to page number 45. So Porter 5 forces as the name states, so there must be 5 forces. You have to apply your common sense at least. So there are the threat of new entrant, suppliers bargaining power, buyers bargaining power, 1.3, threat of substitute, and competitive rivalry. Let's try to solve the case study. Congestion in airports due to non-availability of parking space means supplier is less, so there is a high supplier power. Means supplier will be able to regulate their prices. Reduce need to travel due to remote working capabilities. Means there is some substitute available, by which I am avoiding this airlines sector. So there is a threat of substitutes. Low switching cost to choose between airlines means Indigo or Air Asia. There is a low switching cost, so means the customer has a high bar, customer has a high power, means customer can regulate the prices. If Indigo prices get reduced, I quickly move on to the Indigo. Favorable government policies towards investment in aviation sector means there is a threat of new entrant. The government is favoring new businesses. So all this considering is, you get the answer as A. So remember that we have not referred any point of the case study, but we are able to secure 10 marks. And we don't have much knowledge, we just little forget. But wherever we forget, we referred. Wherever we forget, we referred. So let's move on to the descriptive question number 1. Construct a balanced scorecard table for KG Airlines. Identify 2 goals along with corresponding performance measure for each perspective. Evaluate the relevance of these goals and performance measure to KG Airlines. So balanced scorecard table. If you go to your study mat, and the technique which I told you earlier, to find it in the index column, then you will not be able to find it. But why this topic was there na in the course, so it is out of syllabus? No, it is there, but only a diagram is there. So we will be able to answer on the basis of this diagram, because I clearly remember that balanced scorecard was considered in extensive detail, because I'm an old course student in the old mat. So I say what I say have done. I see there is an old course and there is a new course. So while shifting from old course to new course, ICAI has also changed the study mat. ICAI has cut down or cut it short some topics. So while cutting it out some topics, this was one topic which was cut short. So ICAI must have considered this topic important. But ICAI being ICAI have asked a question in RTP, and they can even ask this question in exam hall as well. So balance scorecard, it is not there. But if you go to your previous study mat, what I told you, the previous study mat of SCMP, and like the technique we followed, the balance scorecard, here it is, balance scorecard. So we quickly go down to its concept. Balance scorecard concept has been given. Financial perspective, how do we look to customers? So 4 perspectives are covered in balance scorecard. Customer perspective, how do customer view us? Internal business perspective, at must we excel? Learning and growth perspective, how do we continue to improve and create value? So this table only has been provided in the new study mat. Rest all have been cut short. So this example will be of immense help to you while giving your answer. Why? Because ICAI answered in this format. Example, financial perspective means whether I will be able to improve my ROI, improve my sale. Customer perspective, improve brand recognition, customer retention. Internal business perspective, quality improve, whether I am able to improve the quality, time delivery, and learning and growth perspective, whether I am able to improve the eco-friendly product line. So this ICAI have answered this in this manner. Let's quickly go on to the case study. So construct a balance scorecard for KG Airlines. So for this we need to move to the case study part, because we have to answer it on the basis that whether the airlines is able to meet these criteria as well. So some part I have to use. So which part will be the most appropriate? So here I'm getting the strategy part, at what the strategy part is saying, The fleet will be of single type of aircraft to reduce maintenance of operation cost. Okay, so my financial objective is being met. Online business, check-in place, okay, food and beverages, okay, generate additional revenue, customer loyalty, the customer perspective I can write from there, workforce management, internal and growth perspective I can write from there. So this para will be extensively used for writing the strategy part. And how ICAI have answered it? See, the same part with the example was there: perspective, strategic objective and measure. If you don't have old math, you won't be able to answer it in the manner required. Lease, we will be able to lease what was given, financially viable. So you don't have to write it in this long para. ICAI itself in the last have said that two goals each with corresponding performance measures are sufficient. Additional performance measures have been included to ensure comprehensive coverage. So using para 7, only one para, you will be able to answer that. But question coming in your mind, we have to carry new course, but we have to carry old course as well. Sorry for a little disturbance. I don't know from where the recording has stopped. So again, I will be covering again the balance scorecard part. Just give me a minute. So balance scorecard was not there in old study mat. Balance scorecard was there in old study mat, was what was only a picture was there in new study mat. So on the basis of which we will be able to answer the balance scorecard by using para number 7. And ICF itself said that only to write two corresponding measures for each case study. Okay. So this, by using this example, you will be able to answer this your case study. Okay. So you must be wondering whether we have to carry your old course books or new course books. Old course, new course, old course, new course. So there is a midpoint to that, means you can carry your new books and IC and as well ICA Saransh. Meaning by the answer you don't get in your old course book, you will be able to find it in Saransh. So this is the copy of the ICA Saransh, is page number 23. Entire balance scorecard is given in a little bit detail, which will help you to solve the case study part. So first move to Saransh, then move to ICA study mat. Okay. So let's move on to the descriptive part. The question number 2 of the descriptive part. On 19th October, Mr. KB resigned after working about 45 days as a director. KB remembered was a casual vacancy director. The board now wishes to fill up the said vacancy by appointing Mr. Stephen in the capacity of the independent director in the forthcoming meeting of the board. So if you have slight knowledge of the director's chapter, casual vacancy will be filled by the board, which have to be later ratified by the members in the GM. But casual vacancy cannot but the director which have been appointed at casual vacancy cannot be filled by the board again. So quickly move on to the ICA Saransh. Appointment of directors through casual vacancy. This is the copy of the ICA Saransh in 108 material. Entire company law have been covered. Appointment of director through casual vacancy. Where office of any director appointed by the company is vacated before his term, the resulting may be filled by the board, approved by the members in the immediate next GM. The person appointed last day to the which the original the person appointed shall hold office up to the date up to which the director in whose place is been appointed would have held office if he had not been vacated. So this entire para have been copied by the ICA in this in their answer. Let me show you. So if you see section 161.4, these two para have been copied from the Saransh. So the answer will start from: in view of the above provisions, in the given case, the appointment in place of the deceased Mr. KB Chakrabarty appointment was valid, but any director in place of Mr. KB Chakrabarty is invalid. In fact, the vacancy caused will result in as the board cannot fill the vacancy caused by the resignation who was appointed to fill as a casual vacancy. That intermittent vacancy can be filled by two ways: either by appointing an additional director under section 161 subsection 4, or the vacancy can be filled as per rule 4 of the companies read with section 194, means appointing an independent director. So how do we get the provisions of the independent director? Again, quickly move to the Saransh. Here you will find all the provisions relating to the independent director appointment, qualification, disqualification, and you can pick up some points which you find it relevant and write it in your case study and able to secure at least 4 out of the 5 marks. So let's move on to the last descriptive part. To recognize ticket sales from the flights, KG Operative Airlines, you are required to answer the following questions. Determine the transaction price of KG Airlines as per Index 115. How should you recognize revenue? So, Index 115 have been asked, transaction price have been asked. Quickly move to the Saransh. In the Saransh, you will find Index 115 have been beautifully covered in 7 pages only. So we will read that part which is relevant to our case study. The consideration promised in a contract with the customer may include fixed amount, variable amount, or both. For the purpose of determining the transaction price, an entity shall assume that the goods or services will be transferred to the customer as promised in accordance with the existing contract, and the contract will not be cancelled, renewed, or modified. The nature, timing, and amount of consideration promised by the customer affect the estimate of the transaction price because there might be involvement of some interest part. While determining the transaction price, you should consider the following: significant financing component, interest part, variable consideration. Any of this part, if have been tested in the question, we will have to refer that the descriptive column given and we will be able to answer it, but nothing have been tested. So we have been asked to determine the transaction price. So we need to read from the question that what is the cost we are actually charging from the customer. So again, for second or last part, we have to refer to the case study. Quickly move on. Which para we will be able to use? 4, 5, no data. 5 data is there, but it is not revenue, passenger kilometer, million, not we will use, but fare structure. This data we will use because it is most relevant. Fare structure in airlines industry: a ticket worth rupees sold at 5% discount, 10,000 minus 5, 9,500. GST rate at the rate 5% is collected on the sales at the rate 5%, 475. Remember, this is the price which we have to pay to the government. So this is not our revenue, but this is the revenue of the government. Aviation security fee is charged at 500 per passenger, and user development fee is charged at 250 per passenger. So there are two type of fees: aviation service fee and user development fees. So what is this fee? This fee means airport authority has to maintain the airport, and for maintaining that airport they have to levy huge amount of money, and for that they tell the airlines, you charge some amount from the customer in the name of the aviation security fee and user development fee, collect it and then reimburse it to us, and for this we will pay you some consideration. For this some collection charges are there. So these two are not our revenue, but it is a revenue of the airport authority. This fee used to fund the security management around the country, but we will charge some amount of fee for collecting that, which is our income. These two is not our income. In return for this collection, the compensated at the rate of 5 rupees. So this is our income. Quickly move on. How the ICAI has answered this case part. Revenue recognition: ICAI has written some content which you will be able to find it from Saransh. So if you see, airfare charges 1000, discount 500, GST, aviation security, this is the amount which you have collected from the customer. This will go to the government. These two, this will go to the government, and these two, this will go to the 475 will go to the government, and these two will go to the airport authority. And 5 rupees additional which we have collected, that will be all, that will be our revenue. So 9005 will be our revenue and will be recognized in revenue from sales and operating income. So even if you are able to explain it in your own language, still you will be able to fetch a good marks. So let's move on to the last part of the case study. Does KG Airlines have to pay GST on airport levies like user development fee, passenger service fee? So you have slight knowledge of GST or done some practical knowledge of GST, so it is giving a slightly hint of pure agent. So whether it will be covered in the pure agent or not, we will study by using Saransh. And for writing also, for writing the content also, we can't write just pure agent. We need some reference for that. And for that also, your study institute study matter Saransh will be helpful. Why I'm again and again emphasizing on Saransh? Reason being, they have given some huge content in a small way. If you read the entire, if you read one ICAI study mat chapter, it will be around 90 to 95 page, and the entire saransh is of 90 to 95 page. So that much helpful saransh will be for you. Does KG Airlines, so in this case GST will not be levied. Does KG Airlines have to pay GST on the collection charges of 5? Yes, because they are providing service, they are getting consideration, so GST will be levied. All the conditions have been fulfilled of the to be classified as a supply. So quickly move on to pure agent rule number 33. Value of supply of service in case of pure agent. So you have made an index rule 33, value of supply in case of pure agent. You quickly drill down, you find that, oh, a circular has been there. Taxability of airport levies collected by airlines as a pure agent. Quickly. In other words, the airline shall not be liable to pay GST provided the service satisfy the condition prescribed as a pure agent. So this whole will help you to frame an answer for the case study in a better way. Sometimes you find it difficult to frame the answer in your own language, so this will also be helpful to you to frame your answer. Let's see what ICAI has written. Services provided by the airport authority against consideration liable to GST. PSR the airline industry should separately indicate amount in the invoice. This is the condition of the pure agent. Thus, KG Airlines is not liable to pay GST on airport levies like user development fees, etc. collected from the passengers. They have to satisfy the condition of the Rule 33. In the second part, yes, KG Airlines is liable to pay GST on the collection charges of rupees 5 shall not be liable to pay GST. Okay, and here it is liable to pay GST on the provided by the airport airlines the collection charges for a consideration for the service and will be liable to pay GST on the same. So with this we have concluded our case study, and if you see our summary has been provided from where which field, which subject or which topic you have to refer, and if you see we don't have to require any prior knowledge of that. We just copied it, pasted it from the content which was already with us, that is the saransh and the study mat. If you see, it is a better approach to solve the case study, and there are two videos available. First, the case study number 1, in which I have told you directly how to solve the case study. I have explained each and every concept in a detailed manner. And second is one in which I have told you how we will be able to perform or solve the case study in the exam. So you tell me which videos you want more, which videos will be more helpful to you. So I feel this type of video will be more helpful to you. So it is a request, just take a case study, take ICAI mat, take all that material and practice it. Practice as much case study you can. Don't wait for my video. Practice as much as you can, and if you feel that any case study you are saying that it is tough or not, I'm not able to solving it, or this area I need help, just write that case study number in the description column. I will make a video on that on a prior basis. So with this we have concluded our case study number 1, and case study number 2 is already issued by the ICAI in the case study digest. I guess case study number 27. It is a pretty much easier case study. Around 2-3 pages are there which you can solve it directly. So I think you don't need any help, and if needed we will again make a second part of this and solve it. So with this we have concluded our case study. I hope you like it. I hope this video was not of much duration, around 30 to 35 minutes. So it is a kind request to also comment down whatever thing you like about that video, whatever you want me to improve, whatever case study you want on a priority basis. The comment section is open. All the files have been shared in the Telegram channel. Join the Telegram channel, the link is there in the description column. So with this we conclude this video. I'm trying to make videos more frequently, but it is taking time because I'm also busy in other things as well. So you practice this on their own, and if you find anything you need my help on, I'm always there to assist you. Thank you so much. With this we will end the video. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.